Hello everyone, welcome to Study with Synra. Today we're diving into one of the most essential parts of English grammar, verbs. Whether you're just starting out or looking to strengthen your basics, understanding verbs will make both your speaking and writing much smoother. In this lesson, we'll break down what verbs are, explore their different types, and see how they work in real sentences. So, get ready to boost your grammar skills and make English easier to use every day. Let's get started on this journey to mastering verbs together. So, what exactly is verb? In English, a verb is a word that shows an action, a state, or an occurrence. Simply put, verbs tell us what the subject does or what happens in a sentence. For example, in the sentences I run, she eats, and they play, the words run, eats, and play are all verbs because they show actions. Verbs are the engines of sentences, giving them movement and meaning. Without verbs, our sentences would be incomplete and lack clarity. Let's look at more examples and see how verbs work in different situations. Let's start with action verbs. These are the verbs that show physical or mental actions. When you see someone running, writing, thinking, or jumping, the words run, write, think, and jump are all action verbs. For example, in the sentence, she writes a letter, writes is the action verb because it tells us what she is doing. Action verbs are easy to spot because they often describe something you can see or imagine happening. They bring energy to your sentences and help paint a clear picture of what's going on. Next, we have state verbs. Unlike action verbs, state verbs describe a condition, feeling, or state of being. Words like be, know, like, and believe are all state verbs. For example, in the sentence, I know the answer, know is a state verb because it shows what the subject feels or experiences, not what they do physically. State verbs are important because they help us express thoughts, emotions, and conditions. They often describe things that are not visible but are still very important in communication. Now let's talk about helping verbs. Helping verbs, also called auxiliary verbs, work together with the main verb to form different tenses, voices, or moods. Common helping verbs include is, am, are, have, and will. For example, in the sentence, she is playing, is the helping verb and playing is the main verb. Helping verbs are essential for building complex sentences and expressing time or possibility. They support the main verb and help us create more detailed and accurate sentences. Understanding modal verbs will make your English sound more natural and polite. Modal verbs are another special group. They show possibility, permission, ability, or advice. Words like can, may, must, and should are modal verbs. For example, in she can swim, the word can shows ability. Modal verbs are always used with a main verb and help us talk about what is possible, necessary, or allowed. They add meaning to our sentences and help us express attitudes or opinions about actions. Understanding modal verbs will make your English sound more natural and polite. Verbs can change their forms to show different times or situations. The three main forms you need to know are the base form, the past form, and the past participle. For example, the verb go changes to went in the past and gone as the past participle. These forms help us talk about actions in the present, past, or when something is completed. Learning verb forms is key to using English correctly and making your sentences clear. The base form of a verb is the simplest form, like go, eat, or play. We use the base form for present tense and with modal verbs. For example, I go to school, or they play football. The base form is also used in commands like run or write your name. Mastering the base form is the first step to using verbs correctly in English. The past form of a verb shows that the action happened before now. For example, went is the past form of go, and ate is the past form of eat. We use the past form to talk about things that happened yesterday, last week, or any time in the past. For example, I went to school yesterday. Learning the past forms of common verbs will help you talk about your experiences and tell stories in English. The past participle form is used with helping verbs like have or has to show completed actions. For example, gone is the past participle of go. In the sentence, I have gone to school, have gone shows that the action is finished and has an effect now. Past participles are also used in passive voice and perfect tenses. Learning these forms will help you build more advanced sentences and express yourself clearly. Using the correct verb form is important because it tells your listener or reader when something happened. For example, I go to school means you do it regularly, while I went to school means you did it in the past. I have gone to school means the action is finished and has an effect now. Paying attention to verb forms makes your English clear and accurate. Here's an important tip. Almost every complete sentence in English needs a verb. If you forget the verb, your sentence will be incomplete and confusing. For example, she very happy is wrong because there's no verb. The correct sentence is she is very happy. The word is the verb that connects the subject and the rest of the sentence. Always check your sentences to make sure they have a verb. Let's quickly review what we've learned so far. A verb shows action, state, or what happens in a sentence. There are different types of verbs: action, state, helping, and modal. Verbs also have different forms like go, went, and gone. And remember, every complete sentence needs a verb. Practicing these basics will help you build strong English sentences and improve your grammar every day. To really master verbs, practice using them in sentences every day. Try writing your own examples with different types of verbs and verb forms. The more you use verbs, the more natural your English will sound. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Each one is a chance to learn. Keep practicing, and soon you'll find that using verbs becomes second nature. Thank you for joining this lesson on verbs in English grammar. If you found this video helpful, remember to keep practicing and reviewing what you've learned. Mastering verbs is a big step towards speaking and writing English confidently. Stay tuned for more lessons with Study with Synra. See you next time.